Cab from Thailand. As you can see, I'm at Handbook Fair, and this is a fantastic place if you're coming to Thailand to live or for a holiday and you're going to be in Hua Hin. Make sure you come here because it's a fantastic little place for taking photographs. As you saw earlier, it's surrounded by monkeys. They are dangerous, they're not pets, so be very careful. You get a bite from one of them, you're going to have to go to the hospital for a tetanus shot. Anyway, I got an email from a friend of mine in Australia earlier this week, and he was telling me how expensive it is now to live in Australia. It was very expensive to live there when I lived there, and that's why in 2017 I decided to retire to Thailand, where I knew my money would stretch much further. So in today's video, I'm going to compare the cost of living here in Thailand to the cost of living in Australia, the UK and the USA. Comparisons will relate to the biggest cities in each of those countries: Bangkok in Thailand, Sydney, Australia, London in the UK and New York in the USA. But first I'll go through with you the cost of living for me living here in Hua Hin, and we'll start with the biggest outlay in most people's budgets, the cost of rent. I pay 10,000 baht a month for my condo. It's fully furnished and equipped with cooking utensils, pots and pans, bedding, towels, Wi-Fi, cable TV, everything you need, so I virtually only had to bring my toothbrush. I've lived in my condo here in Hua Hin for nearly 3 years now, and the rent is the same as it was when I first signed the lease, 10,000 baht a month. You'll find that this happens a lot here in Thailand because there's a lot more properties for rent than there are people looking to rent them. And when a landlord finds a good tenant who pays their rent regularly and on time and looks after their place, they don't want to raise the price and perhaps lose that tenant. So to give you some idea of what the cost of living here is in Hua Hin, as I said, I pay 10,000 for rent. My last electricity bill was 1,027 baht. My monthly water bill on average is 200 baht a month. Next on the list is the cost of groceries. In an average month I pay about 3,000 baht at the supermarket, and for 3,000 baht a month I eat very well and want for nothing. Next on the list would be petrol. As many people do here in Hua Hin, I drive a motorbike, not a car. When I do need a car, when I'm travelling through Thailand, I rent a car for a month. I find that this is the best way for me, because owning a car, I wouldn't use it very much because I prefer to get around the town on my motorbike. And owning a motorbike is less expensive than a car when it comes to petrol, insurance and the maintenance. I normally fill up my motorbike once a week at a cost of 120 baht. My telephone bill is at fixed rate with unlimited calls, and I pay 720 baht a month for my mobile phone calls. So let's add that up. 10,000 baht for rent, 1,100 baht for electric, 200 baht for water, 3,000 baht for groceries, 500 baht a month for petrol for my motorbike, and 720 baht for my mobile phone, which comes to 15,550 baht, or 675 Australian dollars, 480 US dollars, 352 Great British pounds, or 403 euros. Now that's just the cost of basic living here in Hua Hin, which is what this video is about. I'm just trying to explain the basic costs of living here, because other costs would depend on your needs, budget and lifestyle. So let's get into comparing prices in Bangkok with the largest cities in those countries: London, New York and Sydney. As of September 2025, the maximum age pension for a single person in Australia is $1,178 per fortnight, or $589 a week, which totals to $30,646 a year. You can rent a one-bedroom condo in the outer areas of Sydney for $2,000 to $2,800 a month. So let's split the difference and say 2,400 Australian dollars per month for a one-bedroom condo. The equivalent condo in Bangkok is 8 to 12,000 baht per month, so let's call it 10,000, which is about 450 in Australian dollars per month. So you can get a one-bedroom condo in Bangkok for the equivalent of 450 Australian dollars, and a similar condo in the outer areas of Sydney would be $2,400, a difference of $1,950 more than in a similar area in Bangkok. The average electric bill for one person in Australia is around $100 to $140 per month, but this can vary significantly by the season and the appliance usage. Let's split the difference again and call it 120 Australian dollars. The cost for electric in Bangkok is the same as in Hua Hin, so let's keep it at what I usually pay, 1,100 baht per month, which is the equivalent of 50 Australian dollars a month, nearly 2/3 cheaper than Sydney. The average water bill for one person living alone in Australia is around 70 Australian dollars. Bangkok's water unit is the same price as here in Hua Hin, so we'll go on my monthly water bill of around 200 baht, which is around 9 Australian dollars per month, whereas the Sydney water bill is 70 Australian dollars a month. So a massive difference of 61 Australian dollars a month. The average mobile phone bill in Australia is around 50 Australian dollars a month, whereas my phone bill, which is the same as most people here in Thailand, is 720 baht, or 32 Australian dollars. So mobile phone charges are nearly half as much as what you pay in Sydney. The cost of food in Australia compared to Thailand is very expensive. The average food cost in Sydney for one person is around $400 to $650 a month, whereas my grocery bill is around 3,000 baht a month, or 130 Australian dollars, which is about a quarter of what I'd pay in Sydney. Because I ride a motorbike, petrol prices are very low for me. I only pay about 500 baht a month. But if I had a car, it would be around 3,400 baht a month, which is around 150 Australian dollars a month. The cost of petrol in Thailand and Australia are around the same. There's not much difference between the two, but if you drive a motorbike, like most expats do here in Thailand, you'd be paying a lot less than if you drive a car, obviously. The UK pension will rise to £241 per week in April of 2026 for a single person, which is an increase of 4.8%. This equates to approximately £12,547 per year. You can rent a one-bedroom flat in the outer areas of London for around £1,250 a month. The equivalent condo in Bangkok is 8 to 12,000 baht per month, so let's call it 10,000, which equates to 236 Great British pounds. So in Bangkok you'd pay 236 Great British pounds for a one-bedroom flat, and a similar flat in London would cost £1,250 a month, or more than 4 times as much as the flat in Bangkok. The average electric bill for a single person in a one-bedroom flat in London would be around £50 to £75 a month, which equates to 2,500 baht a month. The unit of electricity cost in Bangkok is the same throughout Thailand, so I'll go on my bill here in Hua Hin of 1,100 baht a month. which is the equivalent of £26 per month. The price of 1 unit of electricity in Thailand is 0.08 pence per unit, where in England it's a massive 24 pence per unit. The average water bill for one person in London is approximately £23 to £35 a month, so let's just call it £30, whereas the water bill in Bangkok is between 100 and 300 baht, so we call that 200 baht a month, which is what I normally pay. Thailand water is 10 baht per cubic metre or £24. London charges £4 per cubic metre or 168 baht. In England, the average mobile phone bill is said to be between £35 and £47 per month, so we'll call it 40. The average phone bill in Thailand is between 200 and 700 Thai baht, but we'll go on my average bill of 720 baht a month. So a difference of £23 a month, or more than double of what you'd pay in Thailand. The cost of monthly food shopping for one person in London is approximately £200 to £300 per month. We'll split the difference and call it £250. Whereas the cost of food in Bangkok is between 1,400 and 3,500. So let's call it 3,000, which is about what I spend, and that equates to £135, or nearly half of what you'd spend in London. Petrol costs for London are approximately £100 to £120 per month. So we'll go on the lower scale and we'll say £100. Whereas monthly charges for petrol in Bangkok are approximately 2,900 to 4,000 baht. So we'll call it 3,500 baht a month. But if you decide not to go with a car and get a motorbike like I do, the cost per month would be around 500 baht. Petrol in London is significantly more expensive than in Thailand. Based on recent data, filling up a car in London can cost over 50% more than in Thailand. The basic monthly retirement pension is $2,071 a month, or $24,852 a year. The average rent of a one-bedroom condo in New York is around $3,000 to $4,000 per month. So let's call it $3,000 a month. A similar condo on the outskirts of Bangkok would cost you 10,000 baht, or $330 per month, which equates to 93,000 Thai baht. So a one-bedroom condo in Bangkok is 30 times less expensive than in New York. The average electricity bill for one person in New York is around $265 per month. The cost of electric in Bangkok is the same as what I pay in my condo in Hua Hin, as it's the same tariff nationwide. So let's keep it at what I usually pay, 1,100 baht per month, which is the equivalent of $35 per month. Electricity in Bangkok is 60 to 65% lower per kilowatt hour than New York. The average monthly water bill for one person in New York is approximately $30 to $40 a month. So let's just call it $35. Whereas the water bill in Bangkok is between 100 and 300 baht. So we call that 200 baht a month, which is what I usually pay here in Hua Hin. So water charges in Bangkok are 80 to 90% lower than in New York. In New York City, the average mobile phone bill is between $136 and $155 per month, so we'll call it $140. The average phone bill in Bangkok is between 700 and 800 Thai baht, but we'll go on my average bill of 720 baht per month, which equates to $23 a month. Mobile phone charges in Bangkok are 80 to 90% less for comparable services in New York. The cost of monthly food shopping for one person in New York is around $400 to $500. So we'll split the difference and call it $400. Whereas the cost of food in Bangkok is between 1,400 and 3,500 baht. So let's call it 3,000 baht, which is about what I spend, which equates to $112. There's one thing that's cheaper in New York than Bangkok, and that's petrol, which is significantly cheaper in New York than in Bangkok. New York City prices average around 79 cents a litre, while Bangkok prices are the equivalent of $1.31 per litre. In New York, petrol costs 79 cents a litre or 25 baht. Petrol in New York is 65 to 75% cheaper than in Bangkok. So to sum it up, Thailand is a very much cheaper country to live in than Australia, the UK and the USA, as well as the majority of European nations. And another good thing about living in Thailand is prices don't go up every few months like they do in the West. I'm paying roughly the same now for many goods and services as I have done for much of the time that I've lived in Thailand. And don't forget, this video was about the capital cities of those countries. If you decide to live in many other areas of Thailand, you'll find that they are even cheaper to live in than Bangkok. So I hope this video will help you if you're considering coming to live here in Thailand. If you're on a budget, your money will stretch much further here than it does in your own Western country. And not only that, you also get this great weather. So thanks very much for watching, safe travels, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for now. So go to my website and take a look at all my books about retiring or living overseas, as well as 3 of my books in the Thai Died series of books featuring Police Lieutenant Chai Son SINUAN, an incorruptible Thai police officer in a police force that is rife with corruption. These intriguing plots are sure to captivate readers who appreciate a blend of cultural depth and real-time suspense. For something a little different, you'll find Adolf Fittler, a work of fiction, though it's based on my own experiences when growing up in Middlesbrough during the 1950s and 1960s. This was the time of the Windrush era, where immigrants from Caribbean and other Commonwealth countries came to the UK to undertake a variety of jobs to help rebuild the nation after World War II. The book takes in the difficulties that the immigrants faced due to their ethnicity and the colour of their skin, and it's seen through the eyes of a young boy called Adolf Fittler, who started his life as a racist because he had no choice, as when he was growing up, that's all that his racist father talked about. Every conversation revolved around or related to black or Asian people. But in 1959, there was a turning point in Adolf's life, an event that would transform the way that he would view the world and live his life, when Winston and Kalisha Brown, 2 kids from Jamaica, moved into a council house just 2 doors down from the Fittler house. Another book that you'll find on my website is The Deptford Mass Murders, a work of fiction based on a true story. In 1905, a crime took place in London that would change the way that the police forces around the world would identify criminal suspects. The Deptford Mass Murders. On the 27th of March in 1905, Thomas Farrow was found beaten to death in an oil and paint shop he managed in Deptford. Anne Farrow, Thomas's wife, was also badly beaten and succumbed to her injuries and died in hospital 1 week later. This was a crime that Scotland Yard Fingerprints Bureau had been waiting for since the Bureau was formed in 1901. A high-profile crime that would put the spotlight on the science of fingerprinting as a reliable, efficient and infallible system of identifying criminals. A week after the crime was committed, brothers Alfred and Albert Stratton were arrested and later put on trial at the Old Bailey, accused of wilful murder. The prosecution had very little evidence to convict the brothers, and what they did have was mainly circumstantial, except for a thumbprint which was found on the cash box in the Farrow's bedroom above the paint shop. So thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to get your free flip book from my website. Take care, safe travels, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for now.